Hi guys, week 2. And for any of you, if you're sitting here today going, oh, I just don't know, someday. If you hear that word someday, let me just remind you, someday is not a day of the week. There are 7 days of the week. Just jump in this week, all right? Forget last week, new chapter this week. Let's see what we can do this week to get you going. So I guess I want to ask you, are your actions syncing with your desires? So did you stop doing one thing last week, and did you start doing something that you know you need to do to get you through this 12 weeks and into a healthier future? Hopefully you did. If not, I'm going to give a couple suggestions for week 2 on just kind of getting still ducks in a row. We're still so early on. We're still in the starting blocks basically in week 2. I think it takes several weeks to kind of get all this planning and preparing and kind of start those gears in motion if you're not used to doing something like this. So anyway, we're still in the starting blocks, so be kind to yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. But I do want to make sure that you've given yourself permission to put yourself at the top of the priority list, because let me tell you, this is the one thing that inevitably always gets shoved down and down and down. So even though this might seem a little time consuming right now, I guess the way I look at it, I would rather take the time now, learn to plan, learn to incorporate some healthy patterns and lifestyle, make some lifestyle changes, plan now, than a year from now, 5, 10 years from now, have to plan all the doctor's appointments for when I'm sick. So anyway, pay now or pay later, or I'm going to pay now. That's my choice. So if you hit the floor running with this last week, man, that's what I did. I was just so committed into making the change and getting healthy. And if you're in that place, I'm so in your corner and I'm really pulling for you and I'm rooting for you. For the rest of you, if you're struggling a little bit, a couple things I want you to focus on this week, and that is the planning. Make sure you've got those snacks ready to go for work in your desk drawer, in the lunchroom, in a lunch sack, you know, maybe some cheeses or, you know, some meats or whatever, nuts at your desk. If you find that you're a stress eater, if you find yourself finding your way into the lunchroom to where the vending machine is, put the brakes on, because that's how I used to be. Put the brakes on. I want you to detour. Go out into the lobby and grab a piece of fruit out of that fruit bowl. And maybe make it a goal as a company, by the end of the day, there's not one piece of fruit left in there. So see what you can do this week about doing some better planning. If you know, maybe on your team, get together. See who can bring what for snacks, because when we have healthy food surrounding us, we're going to eat healthy food, and it's going to make those trips to the vending machine hopefully diminished and gone. And I used to live in a vending machine, so I totally understand that comfort food and that stress eating, but thank goodness I overcame that. The other thing I want you to do this week, this is really important, you guys. I want you to have fun, but I want you to also recognize how important this is and the impact that this can have on you and your family as a leader, as their example. Are you modeling behavior and an example for your kids of how to nurture themselves and take care of themselves? I think this is one of the most important things a parent or a grandparent or an aunt and uncle can do for the people who they influence, or the people, their families, is to model that what they want their kids to be able to do someday. That is, take care of themselves and be healthy. So really reflect upon that. What kind of an example are you leading? Are you modeling the behavior that you want those people in your life to be able to replicate? And give yourself that permission to take time for yourself. It's not selfish at all. It's the best thing you can do. I want you to plan. I want you to do a little bit better with your planning. And if you've done nothing thus far, please, in this next week, I want you to focus on committing to 3 days of 20 minutes of cardio. And we live in the age of technology. I mean, I put everything on my calendar on my iPhone. But when it comes to this, I would really encourage you to get an old-fashioned calendar. And I use both. I use an old-fashioned calendar and I use my iPhone. There's something that when you see cardio, 20 minutes, noon, or whatever time, when it is scheduled and it is in front of your face, I don't know, it just helps to make me a little bit more committed, I guess. So I want you to try this if you can. Print out a month at a glance calendar, put it in your drawer, and I want you to schedule your 20 minutes of cardio 3 days a week. In those 20 minutes, if you can do those little bursts, man, that's going to get you quicker to that finish line, and you're going to be so proud of yourself if you do that. The other tidbit, a little pointer I want to give you this week, sometimes it is best, even though we might not be a real morning person, sometimes it is best just to get up 30 minutes earlier. So I want you to, if you can, try this. Set your alarm 30 minutes earlier this week. Give this a try for a couple weeks. See if you can do it. See if you can incorporate this new pattern. So set the alarm 30 minutes earlier. But I want you to move your alarm clock across the room. So right now it's sitting right next to your head, next to your pillow, on your nightstand. That alarm goes off. It's so easy to hit that snooze button a couple times. So I want you to take the alarm clock, move it across the room, okay? Now, I want you to do one more thing. Put your tennis shoes right on top of your alarm clock, because I kind of want it in your face a little bit. When that alarm clock goes off, I want you out of bed and reminded, if not anything, guilted, to put the tennis shoes on and go take a walk. 10 minutes out, 10 minutes back from your front door. Have a cup of coffee first if you need that. 10 minutes out, 10 minutes back, and then you've got it done before you get to work. So commit this week, the next week, 20 minutes, 3 days. Find the time. Carve it out. It's there. I know it is. I know you're busy, but I know you can find that time. Make that a priority. So with that, guys, keep up the good work. Stay committed. This came into your world at the right time for the right reasons. And just remember that. Stay focused. Blinders on. Finish this project. You will never, ever regret that you started it. So anyway, I'll see you next week. Have a great week.